On this episode of Flirtations, we're going from first impression to first date, y'all, as we're joined by expert matchmaker Daniel Cooley to explore the secrets of making a memorable first impression. How much does it even matter? And turning that first impression into perhaps a first date. Let's set the scene. Let's say you're at a party, a social, a networking event, a singles mixer of some kind. You arrive alone or maybe with a friend, but they pair off or break off somewhere else in this space, and you see someone cute that you want to flirt with. What do you do? And by the end of the night, you've left with their number. That's right. Whether you're attending a singles event, that can be you, by the way, a party, or just trying to navigate the social scene, we're here to share top tips on how to stand out, spark engaging conversations, manage anxiety, and confidently make your move. If you've ever wondered how to turn those initial sparks into something more, this episode is for you. And we'll obviously be talking about some flirting too. I mean, obviously. So get ready to level up your dating game as we go from first impression to first date. Let's do this, flirties.
I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and a gay Libra. Everyone has an inner flirt.
Hey, flirty.
Live, laugh, flirt.
Work the flirt.
Work the flirt. Delulu is the Salulu. Expert on the flirt.
Hey, flirty. There's always another flirt.
Everyone has an inner flirt. Get out of your head and into the flirt.
Flirties, on the show today, a real life matchmaker, as we're going to be taking you through the process of the date from first impression to first date with matchmaker Daniel Cooley. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Oh my God, I'm so excited. All the flirties are with us.
They sure are. They are tuning in from all over the world. This is global.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
No, I love your stuff. You're so hilarious. And I'm so excited to be a part of this because I know we're going to have fun. I know there's going to be some laughs.
Well, let us get started with this. Yeah, this really, really cool conversation, as I had this idea, as I was thinking, as I sometimes do here at Flirt Headquarters, on taking people through the first impression, through the first date, that journey of meeting someone at a matchmaking event, a singles event, a party, a mixer. You're having a vibe, catching a flirt, sharing some information, I hope phone numbers, and then going on a first date. But there's a lot that happens in between. But first things first, please tell the flirties a little bit more about yourself. Yeah, what you do. I'm very curious.
Oh, okay, guys. So I am a GBTQ matchmaker, which means gay, bi, trans, and queer men mostly. We're moving on to women eventually, but our database is mostly men, so that's why we focus on that.
Okay.
And we help people find love. We're one of the number one Googled gay matchmaking companies. So if you Google gay matchmaker, best man matchmaking is gonna pop up. And me and my business partner, this is our passion. We love connecting people. I've always been doing it. People actually used to call me the divine connector because in my previous works, like nonprofits and whatnot, people would constantly ask me. It was like everything I've done is like worked with a lot of, gay, queer, bi men. And so the networks that I've had, people have always come up to me and been like, Daniel, who do you know in this group that's single? And so I constantly got asked that. I've had marriages, I've had long-term relationships in the past, like 13, 14 years. And people are like, the gay divine connector, so like, I'm like, well, maybe I should do this for a career, actually bring in some abundance of like money and wealth because why not? And so when I met my business partner, who's been doing this professionally for like 6 years, and he had already started Best Man Matchmaking, I joined forces with him and the company's just exploded. It's been so fun. And
Awesome. That's so cool. Congratulations on being top ranked on Google, like a gay angel, just setting people up, helping them with their dating lives. I love it. And and this conversation will, if you're flirting, dating men, I think you're going to find the tips and tricks and strategy in this episode very helpful. So, okay. The first topic I want to talk about is just breaking down the first impression. So let's set the scene. Say people are coming to one of your matchmaking events, or they're attending a singles event, a mixer in their town, city, where they may live. They're walking into this event, right, strutting in, maybe feeling a few nerves, some anxiety there, looking to make that first impression. That's the scene. How may someone do that, or is the first impression everything it's cracked up to be?
Yeah, so I would say there's some signals, right? So when someone is interested, typically they're going to give you a little look. And most likely you'll get a double take, right?
The flirt double take, yes.
Yeah, the double take is it's like a for sure signal, like go, know, all green lights, go for it, and just realize that everybody that's there is feeling the same thing. They're all nervous. They're all like, oh my God, is he going to like me? Is he not? Like all of those things, like everyone's feeling that. So don't feel alone in that. In fact, you can even say when you go up to somebody, like, hey, oh my gosh, I was so nervous to come up to you, but I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, honesty, people really appreciate honesty. I would always say, like, go with, your 100% honest self. Obviously, don't start talking about politics or religion or marriage or your past relationships right away. That's like a no-no. But, go into a party and say to yourself a little bit of affirmation. I always say, like, affirmations always really help me get set with my intention. What do I want? I want to find an amazing person that I connect with, that is really cool, that, matches some of the qualities that I'm looking for, so understand, what is my intention first? And then when you get into the party, as you're walking in, I am confident. I am charismatic. I am bold. I am strong. I am brave. I am joyful. I am happy. I am funny. Whatever you want to bring to this moment, whatever you want to bring to this party, say it in your mind as you're walking through. You don't even necessarily have to have a drink in order to loosen up, which you can. I mean, most singles mixers are going to have a drink. So you can go for that first if you want, but do a little bit of that, and then you want to manifest whatever you want to bring into your life. Okay. So if you're trying to bring this partner in, you're trying to bring somebody that you love into your life, call him in. Yeah. Say the saying, he's here. He's already here. My soulmate's already here. He wants to meet me. He's so excited. Yeah. He's everything I ever wanted. He's got the personality. He's fun. He makes me laugh. He's got the career. He's successful. He's, whatever he is, put that on a paper, write it all down, manifest it today. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Yeah. And just, really.
Hold up, there's a knock at my door. Is he here? Is he here? Just kidding.
You might have manifested him already.
I manifested quick, Daniel. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Do a little bit of that, and then I would say, when you go and approach somebody, just number one, be yourself. Number one, it's like, it's so simple, yet it's so hard for us because it's like, oh, I'm gonna, lower my voice a little bit. Let's make him let's act a little more masked right now because I want him to think I'm a little more masked,
Yeah. That's for the gays. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to go through all these things in our head, but really what somebody is going to appreciate the most is you being your genuine self. If you can show up and be your genuine self, it doesn't even necessarily matter what you say. Yeah. I would say the first thing you should say is, hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Start asking questions immediately. Yeah. Take the attention off of yourself. That will help you be less nervous. I always say, be interested. Don't try to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean? Okay. Yeah.
So if the more invested you are in being interested in somebody else,
Mhm.
the more the focus is going to be taken off of yourself,
Yes.
and you're going to be able to put it on them, and they're going to be like, wow, this guy is so curious about me. Wow, I love that. I
Mhm.
love the attention. People love talking about themselves. Let's just admit it.
Mhm.
People love it. Doesn't matter
They
gay,
do, they
straight,
do.
whatever you are.
Mhm.
They just want to talk about themselves.
Mhm.
So take it off of yourself.
Yep.
If they're interested in you, they're going to start asking questions back.
Yes.
You're going to get a
Yes.
signal. The
Yep.
signal is going to be that most likely they're going to smile because they're going to think it's
Mhm.
cute that first of
Mhm.
all you had the balls to come up to them.
Mhm.
Second of all, they're going to think it's really cute that you're already asking them a bunch of questions about themselves.
Mhm.
And don't get nervous about the questions. They can be really simple.
Right.
What do you like to spend your time doing?
Yeah.
Some people say, what do you do for work right away? And it's like,
Nah.
uh
Yeah.
that's like sometimes a little it's very much like, okay, let me see if you're qualified. If you're not a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, it's like,
Sure. Sure.
so I always say, what do you like spending most of your time doing?
Okay.
And everyone's going to have a different answer. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It may be about
Sure
their
will.
work, it may be about hiking or
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
So maybe they're a producer. They're like, I spend a lot of time on set,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and then it's like, ooh,
So
more
good.
questions to follow up with that. Like, ooh, what do you do on set? What
Yeah.
do like, it's like the question is going to lead to another question, to another question. So just let the questions unfold. They will come
Mhm.
naturally.
Yeah. So good. And all right. So I want to break down the first impression a little bit more, touching on some of the
Sure.
components of the first impression you just shared. And that the first is just with some of those I am statements, manifesting and just really calling into being the energy you want to have and bring into this event, party, wherever you may be. Because it's reasonable you're going to feel some anxiety, some nerves, especially if you're showing up by yourself. You're there sort of with this
Hmm.
intention of perhaps meeting somebody to go on a date with. And I like what you said, that everybody is having some of that anxiety as well. And so when it comes to the first impression, it's just about working yourself into the conversation and into the flirt a little bit, even by being interested
Hmm.
rather than trying to be the most interesting person in the room, asking great questions, which can really just start with, hello, how are you? My name is. What do you like to spend your time doing? Like, that is going to reveal so much about the other person and show what you have in common and just get the conversation going. That's all you're looking to do. So if it feels like it's a performance sometimes, like you have to be this one version, like, oh, right, like, hey, like this version of yourself that you maybe step into when you get anxious or you feel like you have to be, it's just look to make that point of connection, ask some questions, introduce yourself, flirt a little bit, getting that expression of interest back from the other person. And there you go. Now you're in the flirt and you just get to have some fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And compliments never hurt either.
No, always good. They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
this
wouldn't
goes, yeah,
I wouldn't
across the board.
necessarily say, "Oh my god, you're the most handsome guy in the room," because that may
Yeah.
be a little much, especially if they are the most handsome guy in the room, because they probably get that a lot.
Yeah.
So they're gonna think, "Oh, I've heard this one before." You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So say something like, "Wow, you have really beautiful eyes. I
Hmm.
love your necklace. Where did you get that from? Your
Hmm.
shirt really fits you so well. I love it.
Yeah.
Where did like?"
Better.
So
Hmm.
find something about maybe their features of their face,
Yeah.
or maybe something they're wearing, or some
Hmm.
jewelry, or maybe you relate to something. Oh wow, you're wearing a lava rock
Hmm.
bracelet. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I used to live in Hawaii, blah 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 blah. So it could be a conversation starter, whatever it is,
Sure.
and it will take you where it wants to take you. So
I
that's another
agree.
thing I would say about,
Compliments
taking that.
are
Mhm.
great, and this for the lady flirties, you can give compliments to a guy. Trust me, they're not getting them that often, and you are going to stand out. And to your point, I always say the physical compliment is the lowest hanging flirt on the fruit tree. It's like practically touching the ground, but you can still play in that physical flirting space by complimenting something like smile, eyes, something they're wearing, something about, I don't know, they have tattoos, hairstyle, like piercings, something visible. And then you never know what that may open up and become as far as a conversation starter goes. Like, oh, I picked this up on a trip, or like this tattoo means whatever. It's like, um, yeah, it can be a really great way to open it up. And I also want to say with the first impression, it's like, because I got a couple versions of this question. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm too awkward, or like I'm weird, or like I don't know how to break the ice or open it up. It's like if you're putting so much pressure on yourself for that first impression, honestly, it's it's not the first impression someone is going to remember, it's the end, right? It's how you close the flirt. It's how you ultimately conclude things and perhaps set yourself up for a date or something like that, which we're going to get to. So if you feel like the
Yes.
first impression is like you got one chance to just knock it out of the park, flirty. No. No. That's just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the setup.
It is. It's the setup. True. I mean, the first impression is it's like you got to introduce yourself. So inevitably, you're going to have one. Yeah. Every time it's a new meeting. All good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. I've got
Definitely.
a question now from
Sure.
a flirty who, so they've been to some of these matchmaking singles types events, networking events of some kind. Sounds like more heterosexual mixed spaces. And this person says, look, I've gone to these events, but the cute guys always have something talking to them, someone talking to them. How, like, if I want to talk to them too, like, how do I work myself in, or should I just, right, let them come to me? How would you, or do you notice that in your events where like sort of the quote unquote hot ones are just being swarmed?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
I know, because like you're seeing someone for the first time. Like so often we gravitate towards who do I think is hot? Like that's how we're basing who I want to talk to, or like if I want to talk to someone. And so like I think that's a whole right. Like oh, like talk to everybody. You never know. But yeah, if the hot one is being swarmed,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, I would check out first, maybe you haven't seen everyone in the room and
Mhm.
your focus is on that person that all the people have their attention on.
Yeah.
So, if the guy has a lot of people around him, right, and it seems like he's taking up all of the space, all of the attention,
Mhm.
first, maybe go up to, somebody that is still attractive,
Yeah.
still somebody that you'd want to go up to, but maybe start off, like warm yourself up. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like sports. It's like, hey, like the flirt game, right? Like you're saying, is like sometimes you get a little better as you go along.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
warm yourself up, and then just say, once the conversation has gone to a certain point with the other person, say, "Hey, I'm gonna make my way around, but it was so lovely talking to you." However you want to end it, we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
and then when you go up to the person, if he still has people around, do that thing, like, hey, I thought you looked like a really interesting guy, or hey, I loved your necklace or your shirt or whatever, or hey, like, I wanted to say hi.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt the conversation over here.
Mhm.
You can always apologize. Hey, sorry to interrupt the conversation. Thank you for letting me, come in
Mhm.
here. And let's just it could be anything. It could
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
hey, how are you? Hey, my name's Daniel, just wanted to introduce myself.
Yeah.
Wanted to come up and say hi.
That's definitely a few ways to play it. And I would also say to, yeah, like you said, just look to make those connections with as many people as you can. That's why you're there, not looking to evaluate someone solely based on their looks. Just looking to have that conversation, see what you have in common, if anything, because that quote unquote hot one may open their mouth, his mouth, and just like nothing but boring nothing falls out. Like, you just don't know. So mix and match, take your focus off of this one person if you feel like your just attention or your eyes are going there. And then play with your flirt style a little bit. Like for me, I'm more of a playful flirt. So like when I catch them one on one, which is more my flirt style. So catching them one on one as they're stepping to grab a drink or a piece like some food, the bathroom, something like that, and then making a joke like, "Oh my God, Mr. Popular over there. Hey, I'm Benjamin. How's it going?" And then there you go. You're in the flirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I 100% agree, and try to find an opening in the conversation if other people are talking to them. Definitely
Mhm.
try to find an opening.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
feels like it's just like everybody's like
Yeah.
they're like animals like attacking and like coming at him like, I'm gonna get this one,
Yeah.
just say, oh, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me for
Yeah.
interrupting. I would love, I just wanted to say hi. Like,
Mhm.
I saw you from over there, like take
Ooh.
the focus off of yourself and start asking
Mhm.
him questions. Be interested, not interesting, and
Yeah.
there you go.
You could set it
You,
up for a future. Yeah, I've seen that tactic on The Bachelorette before, or I'm sorry, The Bachelor, where it's like, everyone is surrounding The Bachelor. It's the only guy, and they're all trying to date him. But some of the contestants, they'll do that thing where they just step in and they just look to get a moment of time and be like, "Hey, I'm really interested in talking to you more later. I'll keep my eye out for you," kind of thing. And then boom, exit, and guess who they're thinking about? You. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Or you
Yeah.
can even say, hey, I know you're busy talking to a lot of people over here, but if you're curious,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be over there by the fireplace,
Mm-hmm.
sitting down, having a little, cocktail or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to have you join me after this
Yes.
conversam.
So good.
And
Creating
boom,
some
if they're
intrigue.
interested,
Yes.
boom, they're gonna come over and
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, wow, that was bold.
Yeah.
Like, even if they're not that interested in me, they'll be like, wow, that was great. Like, that person's bold. I
Mm-hmm.
think I am going to go up to them. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yes,
Make a bold move. People appreciate the confidence.
they do.
Confidence, like, especially, gay men, gay, queer, bi men, trans men, all the whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
We all come from some sort of
Oh
trauma.
my God.
We
Yes.
all
Yes.
come from some sort of shame.
Yep.
We've all got that interlocked in us.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're able to walk through fear, so
Mm-hmm.
confidence, I don't know if you knew this, what confidence means
Mm-hmm.
is the ability to walk through fear. So that's
What?
all confidence is.
I've never heard it described like that. I don't think.
Yeah. Confidence is the
Hmm.
ability to walk through fear.
Okay.
Because when you're confident, all it is believing that you can do something, right? It's the
Yeah.
belief. So that belief, if you have that belief, you're walking through the fear. So confidence is showing the ability to walk through fear. So when you're walking through that fear, as soon as you're over the hurdle, the other person will respect you more as well. They're going to see
Wow.
it. They're going to notice it.
That's a really good way of just reframing confidence. Something already I'm taking from this conversation for sure. And so
Yeah.
now, all right. So I think the next question I want to ask is some maybe best practices, if you would describe them like that, for these types of matchmaking, singles events, networking, parties, where I think we've taken the flirties, right? They made the decision to show up. They're there. They've made the first impression. They're starting to flirt, make those connections. So I think they're in the event. And now maybe some other tips, tricks, strategies, for how to just have a really good time.
Yeah. I mean, 100% dress your best,
Okay.
wear your hottest. If you're at a pool party, singles mixer, wear your hottest little Speedo, wear your hottest little swim trunks, whatever makes you feel sexy, wear it. Even if it's if it's a onesie or whatever it is, if it's it's a pajama singles mixer, wear your best onesie, there's all kinds of different themes and stuff now. Singles mixers have gone up by 200% since COVID. I don't know if you've known that, but so they've become a big thing, and just wear your best, wear what makes you feel sexy. You don't have to wear a suit and tie unless it's required, but wear what makes you feel good, and that would be one of the definite tips I would say is like first things first, like to make yourself feel comfortable, wear what you're comfortable in, wear what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But don't wear, something that you rolled out of bed with, obviously, or don't wear your gym clothes, to an event where it says wear a nice shirt. It's like just be smart about that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So what else did you say about I'm giving tips, right? I'm giving
just some ways to just have a really great time in these events. I think dressing to impress is going to be great. Like if it's a singles event at a pool party, I know I'm probably going to wear my gold Speedo. I'm wearing, but you got to do you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not a pool party, you're going to, even I'm thinking a networking event where it's like a great place to meet single men, y'all, are these business networking events, these industry focused events, these professional, like young professionals groups, or just professionals of any age, any demographic, these after work happy hour types of things, whether you drink or not, just placing yourself in a place with other working professionals who at least kind of have a similar lifestyle, perhaps schedule, can relate to a lot of just where you're at in life too. So
I mean, I think first things first, give yourself a pat on the back for making the effort to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the biggest step. A lot of people will just sit at home, I could never do that. I'm too shy. I'm too this, I'm too that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we have all the negative self-talk. So the fact that you walked through that fear already and walked through your own shame and your own trauma and you've made it there, give yourself a huge congratulations and pat on the back.
So big.
Because it's a big deal.
It is a big
deal.
Yeah.
And we like big deals.
Yes.
So
acknowledge it for what it is. It's like, don't make these decisions small. It's like, doubting yourself in that way, wearing something that makes you feel good. Ultimately, you want to feel good in these spaces too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And beforehand, I always say, like, do some things that the day of the event, if it's an evening event or even if it's an afternoon event, do some things that are going to make you feel good. So if it's running, going to the gym, going hiking, meditating, doing mantras, affirmations, going to church, gay church, whatever it is, don't get drunk before, but because that is gay church, I know, but don't take that literal.
Church being happy hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But do some things that make you feel good, before you go in. So you're already, when you're there, you're like, oh, I did my stuff today.
Yeah.
Whatever's on your to-do list, put it to the side, really just like, be like, you know what? Whatever happens in this next 2-3 hours,
right.
I'm putting all of my to-dos, all of my work stuff, all of my thoughts about, that I didn't get my laundry done, I didn't do the dishes today, whatever it is, put them to the side and just have fun. So I say all those little things are going to help prepare you. If you're going to an event and you're just waking up from a nap and you didn't do anything to make yourself feel good that day, of course it's going to be a lot harder.
Right. Yeah. Very much kind of decentering the event is like you kind of like are really building it up, right? It's like this big thing rather than going on about your life and just treating like your day and treating this as, oh, this is a thing on my calendar. This is a thing I'm doing. It's not the thing that is like, going to make or break me having a good day or not.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because ultimately, if you're there to meet someone to go on a date with, dating is going to be a part of your just normal life as well. And so seeing if you can incorporate singles events, mixers, right? Some parties, these things just as a part of your social calendar in many ways, just something you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I even, I read this this dating book, and it was actually a heterosexual dating book.
Yeah.
But it's a similar world. It's not that much
It's
different.
not, there's really,
It's
there's
like,
a lot of similarities. Yeah.
there's a lot of similarities. And one of the tasks they had in there was, make it your goal to get as many rejections as possible.
Oh, okay.
And I know that sounds crazy, but
It does. Yeah.
but it doesn't mean don't be yourself. Don't be, don't use all the, wonderful pickup things. Don't be flirty. Like, it means do all of the things that you are doing to get the date, to get the phone number, to, be that person, be the confident, beautiful human being that you are, have fun, be flirty, all of that.
Okay.
And do all the steps that we just talked about in the podcast already.
Okay.
But take the pressure off yourself.
Yes.
And, instead get as many rejections as possible, because what it is about is going up to as many people as possible, because it's a numbers game. Yeah. So the more people you go up to, the more chances you're going to have. That's and true. Hey, you may end up just talking to somebody almost the entire time, because you end up having that connection, just happens. But if you take that pressure off yourself of, ooh, I gotta get 5 numbers, and each person's got to say yes, and it's like, no. You can have 5 people say no, or 10 people say no, and that one person that says yes. Yeah, that's all that mattered the entire time, anyways.
True. So. True. And so I think this is a good time, or I have a question here about the rejection piece. I feel like this is a topic that comes up in every episode of Flirtations, because certainly if you're flirting, you're dating, rejection is likely to be a part of it. And so have really gone into depth on this on some other episodes, but specific to events, it's I think you touched on it a lot just then, but just maybe, if there's anything else to say about the, what if I really hit it off with someone and, it's just they were it didn't quite, they weren't feeling it, kind of thing.
I think rejection is sexy. Ooh, because rejection means that you went up, you put your effort in, you walked through that fear, you showed that confidence. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just because the connection wasn't there with the other person, you did your work. You put your work in, and the universe goes, thank you for putting in the work. I know that wasn't your person, but he's coming. Okay. He's on his way. You know what I mean? So I feel like the more you even get rejected, the sexier you're going to become, because the more confident you're going to become. Yeah. Because handling rejection, I mean, let's face it, we're gay, bi, queer men, and, trans, and even in the whole spectrum of every community, straight, lesbian, all of it. Yeah. It's we all have this, some of that shame, some of that trauma. We must have experienced something in our life where we've been rejected, so it's realize that, yes, it may sting a little bit when somebody says no, but also say, hey, thank you for your time. It was really nice talking to you. And thank you for your honesty. And because some people are going to reject you, but how they're going to do it is they're going to say, yeah, maybe we can hang out sometime, or yeah, maybe we can see if, it's they're going to give you some passive aggressive thing that isn't real. Yeah. Yeah. So it's if someone's being honest with you and they're saying, hey, you know what? I don't really feel that connection with you, or hey, you're not my type. Thank them for it, because they're telling you the truth, and it's hard for them too. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's also hard for them to reject you and be honest with themselves and honest with you, because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Right. Right. Wow. So many good truth shifts on this episode with confidence and now rejection is sexy. That's when I'm going to be, I mean, future video coming your way. I'm going to incorporate that into my own coaching. It's really good because a lot of time, and I see this all the time. It's like where someone is, they don't want to continue the connection. You're not their type or whatever, but they don't voice that. They go, oh, let's be friends. Or, oh, let's hang out next week. I'm so busy this week with work, whatever. But, maybe next weekend or in 2 weeks.
Right.
And you may be inclined to accept that very passive aggressive attempt at rejection, where now they're sort of soft rejecting you, offering you this other thing that they really have no intention of following through with. It's like the clarity of, look, like I know who I am, I know what I'm looking for, but thank you so much. I know it's not a match for me. Ultimately, that is kind of sexy. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Very interesting. Okay. I have a couple more questions here, and then we're gonna segue into how to kind of close out one of these events, right? Exchange numbers, information, and move towards that first date. But this question is, so what do you, I'll read it word for word. How do you kindly avoid the guys at a singles event that you're just not interested in, but that are like, they're persistent, perhaps? Do you see that at your events?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
There's some people, especially if they've had like maybe a little too much to drink and they're not taking the hint, it's like, okay, I would just say, just kindly tell them, hey, I really appreciate you coming up to me. It takes a lot of guts to come up to somebody, but just be honest. I mean, honesty is key. It's all about honesty, and they'll respect you more if you're honest, and just say, I'm not interested, or, you seem like a great guy, but you're just not my type, or you seem like a great guy, I just don't feel a connection here.
Mm-hmm.
Just be 100% honest. We have enough ghosting. We have enough passive aggressiveness. I always say in LA, you can't spell flake without LA in it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's true. It's true. One of the most passive aggressive towns. I don't know why it is that way, but it's like, come on, people, just be honest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All honesty will be your best friend here in many ways. And just like, if you kind of like feel them, right, you feel like they're looking at you, kind of feel like that heat on your back a little bit, like, oh, they're near me, they're following me around kind of thing. Like, you still got to do you, prioritize how you're looking to enjoy yourself at the event and how you're looking to spend your time. And could you say, like, could a person come up, if it is an organized event, to one of the organizers and be like, hey, look, like, could you send this person over here? Or maybe like, introduce them in another conversation, because they won't leave me alone.
100%.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, there's people that will come up to me as the matchmaker of the event and the organizer of the event. And then I have my business partner too. And then sometimes there's other people that help organize it.
Okay.
A lot of times what's fun too is we have a drag queen in our events, and she really like helps break the ice.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Perfect.
So she can be like, you can go up to her and be like, hey, can you like get this guy off my back? She'll be like, honey, don't
say less.
Say less. Say less. And she's like, George, come here, honey. I need to talk to you. We need to we have some kiki to do right now. You know what I mean? Like, so, figure out a way that works for you, whether it's talking to the host of the party, maybe it's bringing the attention to the drag queen that's hosting the party. There's lots of ways that you can sort of get somebody off your back if they're really not getting the hints.
Yes. But what I'm hearing is drag queens at every event, honestly.
Yes.
That's
100%
PSA for that. I'm totally on board.
Right? I think singles mixers, it's like, it's fun as a matchmaker to host a singles mixer. I was also a performer and an actor, singer and stuff growing up. So I can do the stuff, but
Yes.
to take a little bit of the pressure off yourself as a host.
Yeah.
Not to talk about hosting, but
Good point.
the drag queen can make it really fun and silly and make the guys feel more relaxed and comfortable and realize that this isn't all like serious. This is silly and fun and just, a good time. So
yeah. I like that. I like drag queens at all events for sure. And this question, we've touched on it, but and I get a variation of this question too. It's my brain always turns off around people I like or that I think are attractive. How do I keep the conversation going, or just like, how can I get out of my head? Or like you can flirt all day long at work or with your friends, or when it's not sort of leading towards perhaps a date. But then when you're in the moment, you're at a singles event, and then it's like, whoop, where did the flirt go? It's like,
even as extroverted as I am, that can happen to me. Like I'm an extroverted person. I consider myself. Sometimes I can go into ambivert a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is the mix of extrovert and introvert.
Yep.
So it kind of happens to everybody. So just realize, okay, it's normal. Like this is normal and a normal motion for your body to start shutting down when you get nervous. So you can always kind of go, it goes back to that thing of being interested,
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a great strategy.
Have a few questions ready.
Yeah.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Yep.
Oh, how did you like growing up there? What was that like?
Yeah.
What do you spend most of your time doing? Where do you live now? How do you like living there? Just divert your attention.
Yeah.
And boom, once you divert your attention, the nerves start to melt. It's like automatic. But just have those few questions in your head. And then if you still feel nervous, be like, hey, thanks so much for having this conversation right now with me. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. And I'll like the reading between the lines of this question. It's like flirty. You said, my brain always turns off around people I like. I would say you don't even know if you like this person yet. You don't know anything about them. You don't even know their name. So like you're really jumping into this realm of expectations and sort of perhaps even already assigning them a role in your life of, oh, what could life be like? Or, oh, you're imagining the first date. So if your mind is very much going there, of course you're going to feel anxious. And I love your advice. Be interested. Just have a few questions ready to go. Work yourself into the flirt. Just get it going and see, do you even like this person? What's the vibe like? What's the connection like? Yeah, it can really help with calming down the nerves. Okay, so we've had a great conversation before. The Flirties have had a fantastic event. They've mixed and mingled. They've made some matches or potential matches. How can you start to then transition and set up the first date? Exchanging numbers. Yeah. What's the close like?
So there's so many ways to go about it. You could be as bold as, hey, what's your number?
Yep.
You could be, a little more reserved to say, hey, do you like to communicate with Instagram, or do you prefer texting? Do you prefer a phone call? Sometimes it's nice to figure out what someone's preferred communication is, because everybody likes to communicate differently nowadays.
That's true. That's true.
I do feel like phone number is the best way, just to go straight for it.
Yep.
But I also say a headway into that before you even ask for their number is do something a little more interesting. Like, oh, I know we were talking about your favorite coffee shops today.
Ooh,
why don't we meet over at Verve on Melrose sometime? When are you free next? Or when are you going to have a coffee next? When are you going out for coffee next? I'll just join you.
Oh, I like that.
Let's do something, and then it's like automatically you're going to get each other's information. You don't even have to ask for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's like, Oh, I know that you said you like to go out to bars.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bar? Or maybe you've talked about your favorite bars or whatever it is, or maybe
Yes.
it's a wine restaurant or wine. What do you call it?
Oh,
A
like
wine,
a
wine bar. Wine bar.
wine bar.
Good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I heard you go to V Wine Room up the street on Westbourne. Perfect.
Hmm.
Like I love going there. When are you going there next? Let's meet up.
Okay. I
I
like
think it's
that.
like if you bring something simple to the table too, I think
Hmm.
it's also kind of sexy.
Yeah.
Restaurants, of course, like maybe you want to set a proper date if you feel like, hey, this was like an amazing conversation. I talked to him for a while. There's obviously connection. There's
Hmm.
obviously flirtation going on. There's obviously all this stuff.
Hmm.
So let's get each other's numbers and really set a date and time.
Okay.
But I think closing it out, already having something in place is kind of nice, you
Yeah.
know? Like
I like that as well.
take that extra
Agree.
step because texting back and forth, trying to
Yeah.
figure out each other's schedules, all of
Yeah.
that, like once you leave the conversation, it's gonna get a little more difficult
Hmm.
than just doing it right then and there.
I agree. I love that strategy a lot of, yeah, what did you talk about? This is probably someone you've been chatting with that's local. So like, were you talking about a coffee shop, a restaurant, anything, something, a concert coming up? I don't know. So a hiking place, something. Going ahead and setting that plan in motion and because I know there's going to be plenty of lady flirties listening to this episode. Can they make the first move or can they make that move on a guy?
Oh yeah. I
Thank
mean,
you. Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's like, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I feel like as gay men, we have both of the masculine and the feminine within us.
Mhm.
Gay, queer, bi, whatever,
Mhm.
and we both have that in existence with us. And some men, or whoever you want to identify, non-binary, queer men, whatever.
Mhm.
I It's like it doesn't matter what role you are, we all have the masculine and the feminine within us.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting for the other person to ask you,
Yeah.
maybe they're waiting for you and you don't even know it. And people think, oh, I'm gonna have to wait for this other person to ask me out on a date and blah blah blah. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Let all that stuff go. That's some
Yeah.
story made up by religion or the whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
there's so many stories that
Yeah.
people are
I
telling themselves, and it's like
Yeah, I'm with
it's
you.
just
And
made
like
up.
I've actually talked to straight guys and I've asked them this question. I've done my flirt search and I've chatted with other coaches too. I've had similar conversations and like you expressing interest in a first date, you're not chasing, you're simply expressing interest. Of course, it is now up to the other person, probably a man, if you're listening to this episode, to meet you where you're at. And then you can start getting into some of that planning. You want them to take the initiative after that. Okay, well, now they've got to follow up with when they're available, setting it from there. And this is like, it's just the first date. You're not setting the foundation, the tone, the context for an entire relationship. That's just insane to me. Your power dynamics are not completely skewed here at the start of what is just working towards a first date. That's it. That's it. Expressing
Yeah.
interest is going to be confident and sexy. And if a guy thinks like just what? No, he's not like, I don't think that takes you out of your feminine. Like, I see all this like black cat golden retriever strategy. I agree with like maybe, I don't know, 20, sometimes 20%, sometimes 50%. But like you expressing interest in a first date is certainly not chasing a man. Like, that's just, no.
Yeah.
Get the first
Yeah.
date. My God, do you have a couple extra minutes? I have one more
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Let's go.
Sweet. All right. So
For sure.
we've really taken the flirties through this journey. They are now set up. They've found, right, their guy for the first date. This is really exciting. And so some kind of first date, maybe we touched on some of them now, some ideas. And the question I have here is, what are some good first date things to do or places to go other than meet for dinner? This flirty says, haven't dated in over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know.
Yeah, so
Getting back out there, and I'm excited for him.
100%. Oh my gosh, fun. Okay,
Yeah.
so other places to set up dates. I mean, simple things. I mean, you got museums, you got hiking trails, you got the beach, you've got maybe a bike ride. Maybe you want to do, maybe you want to do a train ride. I don't know, something very different. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
possibly. Maybe if you, living in an urban area, you got light rail or something, go to the next town, a quick 15-20 minute train ride, something like that. Yeah, I love thinking outside the box for date ideas. I love like my dream first date, honestly, is an escape room with somebody.
Ooh, that's
I want to see teamwork, collaboration, communication, fun, energy, just something interesting, creative, different. One of my favorite first date ideas, and this really plays into my flirt style, is laser tag, obsessed, and then going for something like ice cream or a quick dinner before or after. I know a lot of flirties follow Sabrina Zohar, and she talks about her first date was a hike, right? Very public during the day, so lots of other
yeah,
people around. If you've got dogs, something very easy to do, perhaps even bring your dog. But
yeah,
I would
doggy.
say, yeah, like I'm gonna push back a little bit on some of this advice that I see, and maybe you see it too, where it's like, a first date has to be dinner, right? If a guy doesn't suggest dinner as a first date, he's low value, he's cheap, he's this, he's that. I'm like, to each their own, if that's your dating strategy, if that's a type of advice, you're like, okay, I like that, but I I disagree. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an old, traditional way of thinking. I mean, it's just not true.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
yeah.
yeah, the I think the typical dinner date is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all, but you could also go out for lunch, you could go out for appetizers, you could go out for a
Yeah.
drink, you could go out for coffee.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to do a date now.
Ugh, I love the daytime lunch or breakfast date. Like, can we normalize breakfast diner dates? Like, I love them. There's breakfast food. I mean, who doesn't love breakfast food,
Ah,
honestly?
I love breakfast food and I love my coffee. So
Yeah.
to see somebody, when you're having your coffee and you're starting to feel real good, it's like,
When that
yeah,
kicks in, yeah.
or you just had your workout and you're like,
Uh-huh.
it's the best time of the day because you just had your workout and you're
Yeah.
feeling good. You're going to be your best self. So
Yeah.
why not do it right then? Sometimes after work, a long
Yeah.
day, maybe it's midweek, it's Wednesday, and you're like, oh man, I don't know. I go on this date right now. It might be a lot. It's like
Yeah.
maybe you do it right before work. Maybe it's just 30
Possible.
to 60 minutes,
Hmm.
and then if the date didn't go well, it gives you kind of an easy out of like,
Yeah.
you
That's
gotta go to
why
work,
I always am kind
so
of err on the side of caution for these marathon first dates, which can often be sometimes a trap where it's like I hear, oh, I just had like this first date. It was 4 or 5, plus 8 hours long. It was so amazing. Cool. I bet it was, and it can definitely have been incredible. It's still a first date and someone you've only known for a very short period of time in the context of your entire life. So I like the somewhat shorter first dates. Another first date idea, and this is one I had that was so much fun, was we went thrifting together.
oh
And it
fun.
was like, right, we were trying on clothes. We were like, oh, you look so good in that, learning about each other's styles. And it was just cute. It was just fun, something different. Maybe that will work for you.
Yeah,
I thought it was a ton of fun.
I love that karaoke even.
Yeah.
Maybe you go to a little drag show. Maybe
Yeah.
sit in the back though, so you can talk a little bit.
Yeah, you can
Like
talk.
it can be too loud, like not get
Yeah.
to know each other, but like something that diverts the attention off of you guys too could be
Yeah.
something, where it's like you're watching something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a movie. I don't really prefer a movie for a
Yeah.
first.
Movie first date. I'm not a huge fan of that either. Yeah.
But if it is like maybe a little show or something
Hmm.
that's maybe not too long or
Hmm.
whatever, I think that's
Comedy
great.
show, improv, something like that. Great. Where you can talk in between sets. And I
Yeah.
just like allow the date and that experience to be to speak for itself. How is this person showing up on the date, asking questions, getting to know you? How are they showing up before the date, after the date? Is there follow-up? It's like all of these things matter and provide context for who this person, probably a man, if you're listening to the show, truly is. It's not
Right.
just so he takes you out to a fancy dinner and drops $200. Okay. Like, not exactly impressed. How is he showing up?
Yeah.
Not with his wallet, but with who he is.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Is he smiling? Is he making you giggle? Is
Yeah.
he making you smile?
Yeah.
You know, is he
Yeah.
saying sweet things to the waiter? Is he
Yeah.
saying sweet things to the waitress? Not
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah, just
flirting with them, but just
right.
being-
Is he considerate
what I mean?
with people that are in the service industry? Is he polite, showing manners, saying please and thank you? Like, I see this sometimes too, where it's like you get wined and dined and you get focused on that and look at and see kind of the extravagance of the experience and lose sight of who someone truly is. And at the end of the day, yeah, just whatever, like this sort of, high value, right? Looking for your provider type means so much more than can he fly you to, I don't know, New York or whatever for like a weekend. Like,
Right.
I mean, come on. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
oh my God. Daniel
Exactly.
Cooley, this was such a good conversation. I'm so glad you were on the show today and we were able to have this together. My only other question is just any final thoughts, parting words of wisdom for the Flirties, and where they can find you, where you live on the internet, attend one of your events, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. So, some final little things I will say is like, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the apps. There's nothing wrong with the websites for dating and whatnot, but don't spend too much time on them, because the studies now are finding that people are spending an average, and a lot of people are spending a lot more time that are serious about dating, because it takes a long time to really set things up, keep conversations going on these things.
Yeah.
People are spending an average of 27 to 45 hours a month on dating apps.
Oh my God. I had no idea it was that high, but I'm not surprised. I'm not.
Yeah. If you Google it, the average right now, 27 to 45 hours. And that's just the average person. Imagine the person that's really going for it, and more and more people. Another study that's out right now, or the news and stuff, is talking about how Gen Zers and Gen Xers are starting to get off of the apps.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that trend. Yeah.
Or sorry, not Gen X, Gen Z and millennials.
Oh yeah, Gen Z
Starting
millennials.
to get off the apps, off the websites, because they're tired of it. They want more in-person events.
Yeah.
That's why speed dating and in-person stuff has gone up by 200% since COVID.
Ooh, yes.
So go to a matchmaker. That's one of my tips. So
call Daniel, y'all. Call Daniel if you're GBTQ.
Yes. And we will have the L soon.
Coming.
The L's database coming. Doesn't quite have it yet. It's coming. Yep. But yeah, go to a matchmaker, go to speed dating events, go to networking events. There's tons of Google LGBTQ networking events. There's a big one called OutPro.
Oh,
they have it all over the country now. OutPro networking.
Okay.
Those are great. They're more for networking, but also you could potentially meet somebody that could be, a partner. But definitely go to actual speed dating, actual singles mixers, and look for your nearest gay matchmaker, which is me. Me and my business partner, Anthony Canapi.
Yep.
We own Best Man Matchmaking. It's bestmanmatchmaking.com.
Okay.
And very easy. If you put in Instagram Matchmaker, Daniel Cooley. Even if you put Matchmaker D, my full name will come.
Perfect.
Matchmaker D, because you're looking for D, right?
Who ain't? I mean, I am. Yeah.
Just not gonna lie, right? So, and you can also look up Best Man Matchmaking. That's also our Instagram.
Perfect.
And if you go to our website, you can honestly just click Get Started Here, and boom, fill it out. we'll contact you. We'll figure out what you're looking for, what you want, and start vetting and curating men just for you.
Amazing. I'll have all of that linked in the show notes for sure. And depending where you may be in the US, in the country, checking out singles events, networking events, parties near you. I think Meetup, Eventbrite are fantastic free platforms, apps that you can go to for events, organizations of all kinds based on different hobbies and interests. Yeah, helping people make matches and find love. Daniel, thank you for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you. It was so fun. You're so great. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you. All right, flirties, that's a wrap on this episode as we went from first impression to first date. Thank you so much to Matchmaker Daniel Cooley for having this conversation with us. If you're local in LA, over here in the States, he's running events all the time. Information below in the show notes. Thank you, Daniel, for being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode and got some good tips, tricks, strategies, and the like that you can use out there flirting and dating, whether you're at a singles mixer, an event, a party, a get-together, a social. Lots happening. And if you don't have one on your calendar, Meetup, Eventbrite. There's tons that you can find on there. All right. My name is Benjamin. Thank you, the Flirt Coach Gay Libra. Thank you so much for being here and listening to this episode. Please rate, review, subscribe, leave a comment here, share any feedback you may have. I am all open and just want to bring you the best episodes and topics I possibly can and support you in every way possible in your flirting and dating journeys. Okay. Thank you so much from here at Flirt Headquarters, signing off. Happy flirting.